from snow to water. If you're in Gauteng, you need to fill up those containers, buckets, and anything that you have that can hold water. This is because from tomorrow, Rand Water is shutting down water supply to fix its ailing infrastructure. The water outage is expected to last for at least 54 hours. Now, our senior reporter, Silindelo Masikane, has been out and about in Johannesburg, just testing the waters, excuse the phrase, Silindelo Masikane. Over 100 areas affected by this outage. What is Rand Water saying? Are they prepared?
It seems so. It's still quite early days, but we do know, of course, that at least 21 days ago, they did make municipalities well aware that this maintenance was going to take place. And so it was the responsibility of Johannesburg to ensure that its residents are prepared for this shutdown. And from what we understand, it's planned maintenance. It's what's necessary to uphold the integrity of the water infrastructure. I mean, if we want to have continuous supply of water in future, we need to have these kinds of outages temporarily, just to be able to fix what needs to be fixed in these pump stations. And from what we understand, a certain number of valves need to be replaced, some bolts as well. And according to Rand Water, they're saying, look, we figured let's do this at once so that we don't have to once more subject our customers to having, very limited supply of water. But the message is for residents not to panic. We do know, of course, that in the past we have seen that perhaps residents are anxious that the water may not return. But according to Rand Water, the likelihood is very low. But there is a certain number of days, about 10, where the system will be back to its full running capacity. So they're saying you might not have water. You might just have very low pressure coming out of your taps. But of course, use water sparingly and find those alternative sources. We had an opportunity to speak to the spokesperson. Let's take a listen.
I think we need to be very cautious. I realize that people are panicking that they will not have water for the next 10 days. When we say the system needs time to recover, it does not mean there will not be water at all. We're just talking about the system recovering fully. So there will still be water trickling once we're done with the maintenance, but the system will take about 10 days for the system to fully recover. Also, we have informed the municipalities who are customers in this case. It will be Ekurhuleni, Mirafong, south of Rustenburg. We have informed them according to our communication protocol and customer charter. We've given them 21 days in advance for them to prepare in case people don't have water, so that they can be able to dispense water tankers and fill up their reservoirs in the meantime.
Now, Slee, if you are on any of those councillor WhatsApp groups or street WhatsApp groups or community WhatsApp groups, especially in the suburbs, you would have been inundated with information almost every day now. I said, oh, not another Rand Water update. We know it's coming. It's these dates. This is what they're going to do. But what are you hearing? Are the various areas expected to be affected? Are they ready? Are they prepared for what's to come?
You know, what's interesting is that in the past, when I've done stories like this and I've gone out into the streets and asked residents, are you aware that there's a water shutdown? 90% of the time people don't know. But I'm telling you, at least 10 of the people, 9 out of the 10 people I asked in a certain area, do you know about the shutdown? They were well aware of it. They're like, no, we've seen the notices. Joburg Water sent out notices. Our WhatsApp groups are circulating the messages. We are making backup plans. We've filled up our buckets. We've bought bottled water. And we do know in certain areas, of course, where people can't afford to buy water, water tankers will certainly be made available. But I think we're going to see just how well Joburg has planned for this outage after Friday, after the completion of this maintenance project.
Yeah, because I believe it could take a period of days for the water to come back fully.
Yeah, 10 days. In particular with Ekenhof. And Ekenhof is the one that supplies at least more than 70 areas here in Johannesburg, including the south as well as the west, as well as here in Randburg. So I think after Friday, that's when we can really start to see just how well the planning was for this maintenance project. But of course, residents quite well aware of it. Yes, it's an inconvenience, but I think we can all agree that it's quite a necessary one if we want a constant supply of water in future. We had an opportunity to speak to some of those residents. Let's take a listen to what they had to say, as well as some tips in terms of what you can do in the next coming days if you don't have water in your taps.
In actual fact, the anxiety is very high. Being a 4-day outage, yes, I expect people to run dry. They are bringing tankers and JoJo tanks into the area. I'm trying to make sure that we keep people informed as much as possible. However, the big problem is once they restore. I mean, it's going to be out from Randwater side from 7 o'clock tomorrow evening till 5 a.m. on Friday. But once they restore, the reservoirs have to replenish. So there might be areas, the odd area here and there, that might have to problems, intermediate problems for up to 2 weeks. So, you know, we're making contingency plans for that as well, to have extra tankers even available at a later stage.
Gosh, there's always something in Joburg. If it's not the water, the electricity, the load shedding stages went up today in this bitter cold, and it snowed.
Yeah.
It's never a dull moment in Joburg, is there?
Never a dull moment.
I saw a funny tweet earlier today saying this is where you do need friends in low places, but they say low-lying areas, so that if your area is high and you don't have water, go to somebody that's in a lower-lying area because they probably have water.
Or hope that your neighbor has a borehole in the
exactly.
very least.
So everybody's going to get those WhatsApps. So, do you have water? Can we come over? Awkward.
Tough times.
Indeed. Joburg will really, really bring you to your knees. But we love it anyway. Silindelo Masikane, our senior reporter, on the water beat today for a change. We thank her for that update this afternoon.